Okay. All right, traders, let me do a little chat back. If you guys can hear me loud and clear, just let me know if I'm in the chat. Just know everybody, we are live. All right, perfect. All right, let me get my cam up and running. Good. Welcome, everybody. My name is Fausto from Cyber Trading University, and welcome back. I'm here once a month talking about how to day trade today's markets using Bookmap. And we're also going to show you some features, some stocks that are moving, all this good stuff that's going on. And there's obviously been a lot going on too. If any of you have been following me on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, I did a couple of really nice videos. I want to show you them. I want to show you some of the stocks that we traded, how they're doing so far, and how I kind of use Bookmap over the years. I've been using Bookmap for, I don't know, I can't even count, probably since the day they started. It's got to be almost maybe 8 years now, 7 years now. So it's one of our most and very important tools that we use here at Cyber Trading University. So let me bring over my trading floor. There's a couple of nice moving stocks right here. I'm just bringing this up right here. So here's our trading floor really quick. And if you look here in the top left-hand corner, it is the middle of the day, 2 o'clock. Most of our traders do show up early in the morning. There's close to 200 traders in there. You can see these are all our instructors on the left. And these are people all over the world that are logged in. So we do live audio broadcasts the first hour of the open. And if you guys want to join us at 2:30, you might hear some audio kicking in, but we go from 2:30 to the close. Now they're looking at this one stock right here, IBRX. It's one of the stocks that we had on our watch list that was moving up really nicely this morning. But I want to cover and talk about some of the tools that we use. And like, for example, we were trading NVIDIA. And you can see here's some of the stocks that we had on our watches early this morning and also in the pre-market. So let me move this over here on the side and let me show you the stock that we're trading right now. So I always like to tell everybody, everyone's issue is like, how do you find these stocks? That's the most important thing. How do you know how to trade this one versus that one and so on? So a lot of your execution system have what's here. This is called a big percentage gainers and losers. Now, we as day traders like to trade things that have a lot of volatility, a lot of action. Now, if you notice, there's a lot of stocks on that list going from the gainers to the losers to the most active. So everybody's asking, how do you know which one to pick versus the other one? So the biggest gainer of today is this stock right here, SPHL. Okay, if you look right here down at the bottom, it is up about 600%. If I was to show you here, hold on, let me bring this up here for you. Okay, so bring this back over here. If you look right here where I'm pointing, at 919, SPHL was one of the stocks that were on our watch list. Now, this is at 919. You know what time that was? Right here. That's when the stock was $7.50. You could see it now, it's up to $20. Could you imagine owning 1,000 shares of that stock at $7 and selling at $17? Imagine owning half of it. Well, that's just one of several of them that out there were moving. There was a lot more that was out there. There was CJNB. There was, this one was pretty cool. This one kept getting halted. It went from 5 to 12. Then it's back down to 3. So there were a lot of them out there. Now, I don't want anybody to think to trade penny stocks because we don't. All these stocks are NASDAQ national stocks. Our goal is we like to teach and trade things that are going to give us what we say the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. And one way of doing that immediately, just kind of educate you all about it. It's all about spreads. And if you look at this stock right here, it's all about knowing who's looking to buy it and who's looking to sell it. You want to make sure stocks have very, very tight spreads because when you go out there at market, it could be an issue because if you trade a stock like this, even though it's nice, it's up 78%, up $12. If you do buy 100 shares or 1,000, you got to pay $28. If you're wrong, you got to get out at 27 to 45, and it's a 50-cent spread, 50 cents on 1,000 shares. You're already down over $500. Okay, so spread is very, very important. So one of the big things, I'm going to invite all of you guys to come in And let me have it over here. Let me bring it up here. If anybody here would like to attend one of my events, we got a 1-week trial. And also, better yet, I'm going to give everybody this really quick right here. If anybody here would like a copy of my book, let me bring it up over here. If anybody wants a copy of my book right there, it says Fausto at CTU Trading. Just send me it and I'll send you a copy of my book. I think I can type it in here. Let me give my email address so you guys have it. There you go. All right. So let me move this over here. So let me bring up some stocks. Now, if anybody here was trading any stocks out there, I'll be happy to hear from you. I'd like to look them up. But I want to focus on some of the big runners that we had. I want to start off with something very easy. I want to start off with NVIDIA. Why do I say it's easy? You know what? There are a lot of ETFs out there. There's NVIDX that we've traded, which is a lot less money. It's 10 times less. There's NVDY. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but NVDY is what we call a high yield. This stock, and this is pretty crazy, if you buy 1,000 shares of it, it pays you over $200 a week dividend. That's right, $200 dividend a week. It's a high yield dividend. So that one's pretty cool. So you're talking about $800 a month. There's also the 2X on NVDL, and there's a few other them out there. But the thing is this, it's not about telling you about dividends and ETFs and so on. The question that we focus on is like, okay, well, you know, how do you know it's going to continue to go higher? How do you know it's going to continue to go up? So the way we use Bookmap is this. Here's NVIDIA. Oops, I'm sorry, that's AMD. Wrong one. Here's NVIDIA. And the way we trade NVIDIA is we focus on Iceberg orders, what we like to call it. And the main thing that we kind of use it for, we don't try to be over analytical. We don't go out there and try to analyze it too hard. So we'll just look over here on the right-hand side where it says current order book, and we just want to have a game plan where the resistance levels are. Now, you could see clear as day down here at the bottom where it's pretty no big red lines. This is pre-market. Right here, when 9:30 kicked in, you could see how program trading kicked in, and you could see all these lines, how dark and orange they are. The darker the orange, the more they added to the order. So early this morning, there wasn't as many shares. As the day went on, they kept adding more and more at 190. If we can get past this 190, then we'll go to 192. But it's not as many shares. If we break 92, we'll go to 193, but it's not as many shares, only 200. If we want to get to a major resistance, the next bigger major resistance close to anything to 190 would be 195. So this is the reason why you got to focus on these orders, because by knowing where these orders are, you could see, like over here, 189 was a resistance, but you could see how close it keeps getting to that 190. And, you know, you could, if you left mouse click, I don't know if anybody knows the tools, but you left mouse click, hold it down, you just drag up and down. That's how you do that. And if you ever want to go back further in history, you could always go from here with the little double arrows here and then do that from there. But it's all about having a game plan as a trader. So if you want to know why NVIDIA is not getting past 190, that's the reason why. And if you didn't have that game plan, it never did. You would have basically convert a winner into a loser. Now, if you look at NVIDIA here, the most interesting part about the whole thing is look at the high of the day. The high of the day was 198.70. So you notice how it never got to 190? I'm going to give everyone some great advice. Don't ever, 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 ever sell stocks that end in zeros and fives. Okay? Because most of the orders out there on options are at those whole numbers. A lot of people have program trading are out there. And then granted, like on Bookmap, you'll see a big block order out there. So as we work our way down this list, we're going to look at some stocks. I want to look at some stocks. I do want to bring up my YouTube channel and share it with you really quick. Here we go. So here's our YouTube channel. We have close to over 4,000 videos. If you click on videos, you'll see that some of the most popular videos I do have here, which is the most popular video, is using Bookmap on Thinkorswim. I also have here getting started. These are my more popular videos. A lot of them, if you notice, it's all on Bookmap, okay? Which is, our most popular video. What I want to show you here, which I do a lot of, is shorts. And right here on the shorts, I did a video right here about silver. This is the one I just did 2 days ago. Here's a video how I just made $20,000 overnight on this stock right here, which is, there's a price, OKLL. And this one's a great video because if you watch it, it basically explains. I actually was up 30,000. Okay, I was up 30,000. I gave away $10,000. Now, how did I do that? How did I give up 10,000? Well, that's what I want to show you right here. But let me kind of show you. If you read up there, it says I was close up about 30,000 in this position overnight, and then 9:30 came in. People started taking profits. So I kind of thought it was going to hold, but it didn't. And then if you look over here where I show Bookmap, you see that big order out there? There was a big block order out there that prevented the stock from going higher. And then I got out, and sure enough, you could see that order, and then the stock obviously came down. So let me bring up Bookmap really quick and let me show you. But before I do that, let me bring up the stock. Here's the stock right here. So OKLO is a ETF of OKL. OKLL is ETF of OKLO. And right here is, well, let me bring up more of this chart right here. I'll bring up the day trade chart. Okay, so right here you could see the stock went from $30 all the way up to $40. So, you could see I had the stock for a couple of days. I had it all the way down here around 26. And I got lucky. I plain old got lucky. They had news overnight that they signed this huge deal with Meta about doing a big. They're in a nuclear power business, so they're opening up a big nuclear power to take care of Meta's servers. So the stock literally got gapped up. It was gapped up huge, went up $10, and that's just the ETF. But you'll notice right here, it started going down right there. So then when I got around this number, right around 10:30, I'm like, crap, I got to get out of it. And I was really, really upset because I had like 2,500 shares of it. I think I had. So to go from here to here, I went from a $30,000 profit down to a $20,000 profit. And like I told you, you could see it watching this video right here on the short. And on that, you could see as of today, where is it? So if I did not get out and saw those orders on Bookmap at 38 and sort of starting to sell it, would have been out there, done a trade, big winner, and all of a sudden you just get, and you think it was going to go up. And let me tell you why people think it's going to go up, okay? Because at one point, OKLO went from 70 to 190, right? The ETF went from 28 to 170. So when you're looking at a stock all the way down here and like, oh my God, it's starting to go up, and and you own it at 20 and think it's at 40, you're like, oh, maybe this is it. Maybe it's going back to 170, and now you're back down to this number, kind of like destroys everything. So little advice to everybody. You didn't take a profit, you didn't make any money until you sell it. So don't count your chickens until they hatch. So as a professional day trader, one of the negative parts about what we do, which is not a bad thing, is we're very conservative, and we know how these stocks will turn out. We know they'll eventually crash. We know they'll end up going down. There's always profit taking. Hey, if it goes back up to 170, great, I'll buy it back, But I don't want to convert a winner into a loser. So how did I know that? I followed the orders on the Bookmap. There were a lot of orders out there selling it, and that's what pushed it down. So the big thing is, if there's a stock out there you're trading, you got to know where those big orders are. Now, there are a couple other stocks that are also moving. There's pretty much, we could look at any stock out there because they all trade exactly the same. I mean, let me bring up Bookmap again. Let me bring up AMD. So AMD, you could see here how the stock went up, and when program trading kick in, 238, 239. Look at these big orders, 114,000. I mean, not this order got filled, but you could see how it just, after like 10 o'clock, it just, and what is it now? 215. It for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, it never wanted to pass it. Okay. So when it comes to finding these stocks, that's not that hard. It's all about finding what's going to give you the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. Once you find that stock, what we teach at CyberTrade University is, okay, where are the orders? And then once you write down the orders, you really don't need to sit there and analyze the stock anymore. You don't got to implement all these indicators, the Fibonacci's, the MACDs. Just follow those orders. So as we're looking at a stock like, let me see what they're trading in the trading room right now. Yeah, they're still looking at this stock right here, IBRX. Let me bring it up. So the reason why we like this stock in our trading room, let me just bring it up here. You guys could see it. You can see IBRX. IBRX took out the Iceberg order. You could see how Rich is posting using our NASDAQ book viewer, Bookmap. He's talking about how it took it out, that order out there. So you see we're constantly posting on NASDAQ, Bookmap. They're still looking at that stock. So anyway, that stock went from this morning, ran from 313 all the way to 380. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a pretty big mover. 1,000 shares. Let's just say you own the stock at 3.25 and you sold it at 3 3/4. You know, you basically look like you made about 50 cents on 1,000 shares. It's about a $100,000 salary. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. And what's nice about this stock is this. You see the, right here, the spread, very tight spread. You can get in into 89, you can get out 88. That's a big fit. You don't have to worry about, like, there's no one there looking to buy it, no one there looking to sell it. It's got great volume, 55 million shares. But the big thing is, it's going to continue to go up. So we got that stock up here, IBRX, and this is the order that he was talking about. He said that, he said right here, took big Iceberg order out at 387. That 387 was down here, and right here is what he's talking about. He's talking about this support level right here. You see that big red ball? That red ball is telling me exactly that the bigger the ball, that means that those shares actually got executed. By the way, it's a little something so everybody knows. The balls are very, very important because those are the time and sales. And by knowing those time and sales, sometimes you don't know if the order got filled or canceled, but this order actually got filled. You could see right here, the stock had a great run up, came to this big Iceberg order right around here, around $3.90 to $4 right there, hit it, came back down to 387, filled that order. Now the question is, do we own it? Do we buy it back? Well, for me, my traders, they're out. And that's what Rich is trying to tell everyone. The trend is your friend. You don't want to buck the trend. You got to a big resistance. You don't want to break that new ceiling. Now you're coming back down. Can it bounce and slingshot back up? Well, if that buyer didn't get filled, I might consider it, but he did get filled, so that's not a really good sign. So they do it on all different stocks. We had a couple other stocks that made some new moves too. This one, this is that really big one that made a big run up, but this one was moving way, way too fast. This is a pretty cool thing I want to show up right here. This is really cool. So you see this order right here? This is called a ladder up. Okay, so what happened here is that there was a buyer right here for 32,000. How do I know? Because you see how it disappeared and it went up here. This guy laddered up. That's what that basically means. He knows he's not going to get at 14, so he went to 14.50. He's still out of the way because the stock is at 16 and a half. But you could see that when he laddered up, the stock went up. If he ladders up again, if he cancels this order, which you'll see, and if he ladders up, that's only going to push up the stock. So another really cool tool is not only do you see the orders there, but you see if they cancel the orders, everything else. And I also like how the stock is hitting resistance at 17 and is like what we call a 3-layer cake. So what that means that there's 3 orders back to back to back. So you can see how the stock is trading in that range. So that was pretty easy to read. When you start getting to stocks like this, when it got kind of messy, it's kind of hard to read. That's why when you look at some of these brand name stocks, by the way, look, NVIDIA is going down. Going down. It's a great swing trade. You might consider, might break it, but until look, he even added to it. Now it's at 800,000. Since he showed up, if you didn't get out right around 189.80, now you're down to 188.70. So then you throw away an extra $1. You know, that's how you convert a winner to a loser. But this one's really easy to read. Also, Bitcoin's been pretty good. I don't know if anybody hears it towards Bitcoin, but Bitcoin had a major problem getting past this 189, this 98. Another thing we teach at Cybertrain University, and if you go back, do I have it here? I think I do. We were trading MSTR. You can see it right there, MSTR. So MSTR does own a lot of Bitcoin. So MSTR, bring it up over here, had a really nice run. It ran from 157 all the way to a high of 190. But we don't trade MSTR. We trade MSTU. And you can see how that ran to $8, ran all the way to 12. So that is another, if anybody here wants to trade Bitcoin, you can trade, the way you trade it is you look at Bitcoin and then obviously like IBIT, IBIT. And you can see how IBIT went up itself and now it's starting to trend down. But we got a lot of orders sitting there. So we're out of MSTR right now. We're kind of trading. We're trading silver. We're trading CMG and so on. Let me bring up the video I want to show you on the silver, the one I just did the other day. Here we go. Let me bring up the short video here. So if anybody here wants to watch those videos, here's the link right there. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and make sure you leave a comment. I answer back all my comments. But right here it says silver. Oh, before I go to silver, let me do this one. World Cup. So there are some stocks that are moving. There's 3 stocks that are moving in the World Cup. Look at StubHub, DraftKings want to keep an eye on, and also, what else I had up here? Airlines and whatchamacallit, Nike I went through. So Nike was the other one. Nike, you could look at the stocks right now. When I posted that video, just to kind of show you when it was, it was not too long ago. It was like probably a week. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Does it tell you when you posted it? I don't know when it actually posted. I posted about a week ago. And if you look at it, let me just bring up Nike. Look at StubHub. When I posted that video, the stock was $12.60. It went to 16, went past 16 today. Today was on a big run. It's been filled up a gap fill. Look at Nike. Where is it? NAKE right here. Nike, when I posted that video, was right around 61. It ran all the way to high. It was 67. It was actually all the way down here to 58. The only way that really didn't move too much is DraftKings. DraftKings didn't move too much. But these two, obviously, one of the things that we do is whatever's moving in the market, let's say it's a Trump effect or whatever happens, these stocks obviously do really, really well because of it. Now, I want to leave everybody off with this last video. Silver. So I did this video on silver. Let me see if you guys could listen carefully. A little dip around 65, but we're breaking all-time highs again. Some are calling silver at $100. I'll show you the chart here. You can see how it's breaking these massive resistance levels. And on level 4, data shows algorithms are pushing it higher. Now, China restricted silver exports, and silver is critical to AI and tech. You don't have to own the physical metal to ride this. What is your take? Will silver hit $100? Let's see where it goes. Leave me a comment. Silver, SLV has been on a big tear. So silver, when I posted that video, there was another one that I posted just to show you. Go back a little bit further. Bitcoin, Tesla. Here's OKLO, SMR. I did one on gold here. It wasn't too long. Palantir, Pump and Dump from the Sydney Sweeney video. ETFs. Tesla. Where are you? Palantir. Well, anyway, it's probably one of the other ones. All right, so let me bring up to silver. So you could see silver had a huge dip right here. All right, big rally up. Now finally the stock went up, and when I posted that video, the stock was right around, here around 77. You can see around to 85. Big run up in silver. Now when I say $100 silver, SLV is the ETF. Silver, I think, is $10. Is $10 off the actual. If you look at it on TV, what silver's actually trading at. So this is the ETF. This ain't the actual what silver costs. But what drove this stock up? With this only issue, you got to be careful with Bookmap is that when you go to silver, bring up SLV. You could see Iceberg orders. You see the big one here at 85, 84. The only thing that's a little bit difficult to read is that you see this is all algorithms. You see how it's bunched up like that? A lot harder to read. You see how it doesn't look as clean as NVIDIA is? So there's a lot of algorithms when you deal with ETFs that look like this, but they do show Iceberg orders. Looks very similar to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is like a lot of algorithms bouncing around, but you will see some layers of orders out there. But the big number is this: 85 and a little bit of the 90s. So silver at 85 means silver right now is at 95, which is close to that 100. So really the real true number is right around there, right around that number. So that's where we got to look at. And that's why silver has been doing great. It took a little bit of a hit this morning. You could see it right there from the close was at 85, which is the high that we just see right now. Came all the way back down to 80, but look where it is right now. It's almost right back to 85 at the all-time highs. So that one's looking great. So, so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, these are the stocks that how we trade and how we use Bookmap. We work off the big percentage gainers. There's a lot of stocks that are moving out there that we're trading. Oh, they're looking at Lace right now in the Cyber Group room. Right here. See right here? LAES. What's that doing? Let's go check it out. Lace. Yeah, well, nice little mover right there. Oh, 430 up to about almost $5. Let's go check the orders on this one. See why they're buying it. Okay, looks like there's a little bit of a resistance levels. Need to click here, go back a little bit further, get some more data. Looks like there's a little bit of an iceberg order right here for 110,000, 17,000 right there. Oh, they're starting our meeting. I can mute that. Right around there. So nice little pop, but that's what happened. Buyers showed up here around 11 o'clock. It started pushing it up from 420. It's at 480. Got a little bit of a seller here at $5, but the big one's right here. So it looks like there's still a little bit more room in that stock. So that's why they've been trading it. All right. So with that said, fellow traders, if anybody here, two big announcements before we go. If anybody wants a copy of my book, feel free to email me right now. Fausto at CTU trading.com. All right. And also one last thing, there is an event going on with Bookmap with Tradier. So if anybody has a QR code, you want to scan that, that's coming up on January 21st, which is next week at 1 p.m. Okay, so if you guys want to join that event that they're doing, order flow breakdown. All right, traders. So Bookmap, thanks for having me, Dan. It's always been a pleasure being here. I'm here every month. If you don't want to wait till next month for the next training webinar, just feel free to send me an email. I'll be happy to join you and get you in there. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Happy trading. Thanks, Bookmap.